Hello! Hey, this is Matt from Algae Research and Supply. And today I wanted to do a quick little project. We had a teacher from St. Louis ask us about extracting some of the algae bead pigments using paper chromatography. So here's one of our algae beads right here. This is a small one. It's been a little bit dehydrated. It's been sitting out all day. But we have a protocol where we can take algae beads and put them onto a piece of chromatography paper, mash them on there using your finger, and then watch the pigments run. And we wanted to see today whether we could get that to happen with regular photocopy paper, or my favorite paper in the whole world, engineering paper, in case you don't have any chromatography paper. The second variable that we did was just good old-fashioned isopropyl alcohol and acetone. This is all rusty. I picked it up from my garage, and we wanted to find out how these two things worked as an elutant, or as a carrier of the pigment. And the third variable we tested was whether or not how hard we mashed the algae bead onto the paper, if that had an effect on it, because there's cell walls that are sometimes really, really tough in algae beads. So in a nutshell, we'll go through all of those results real quick. First, the mashing, because that one was the most fun. We did this 3 different ways. One, just gently rolling it on there. Second was rolling it on there with my fingernail and kind of grinding it in. And the third was actually beating the snot out of it with the back of a Sharpie and really grinding those cells so that we would probably be able to grind open some of those cell walls. And it turned out we didn't need to do any of that, because all the cells, at least with this batch of algae beads, which were Chlorella and Scenedesmus, the pigments came out without any problem. So how hard you need to push them on there? You don't need to push them hard. But we do recommend drying them off a little bit with some paper towel there, so that there's a little bit of water removed. That'll help the spot to be smaller that's on the paper. The second variable that we tested was the paper itself. So of the 2 papers, it appears as though they both work pretty well at moving the solvent around. But here's the thing that's interesting. The white paper appears to have a blue and a red dye associated with it, so it looks a little bit purple on this line here. But the best that we can come up with is, because we saw this in our control, is that the manufacturer of the paper is adding some of that purple color to it so that the paper appears to be whiter. The last that we did was comparing acetone versus isopropyl alcohol. And what we got here was the acetone solvent moved a lot faster and a lot further than the isopropyl did. That's kind of what we expect. And it did carry a lot of those pigments up, and it was able to separate them out. But we did see the alcohol do a pretty decent job as well, moving both of those out. So my gut tells me use acetone if you have it, but if you don't, use the isopropyl, and you'll still be able to see some different lines form from the as the pigments move up the paper. So that's pretty much it right there. We tested 3 variables to grind the algae bead into the paper. We use the different types of paper, and we use different extractants. So again, our results say that yes, you absolutely can use our algae beads to extract pigments from them. And we recommend doing that using maybe an acetone over an isopropyl alcohol, or a mixture of the 2 if you can. That it works out pretty well, and you can get a pretty nice distribution of pigments. So there you go. Have fun with your algae beads, and reach out to us. Reach out to us if you guys have any questions or comments. We would love to hear from you.